Coffee. Iceman kills. Why are you texting me, boys? I'm on their community thing, so they give me updates.
Noise.
I love them. I
like the updates.
I like the updates. Let me know when your merch drops, man.
We all over the place. It's fine. We're humans. Hello. I'm Kara.
I'm Chris.
And we're the Midnight Babes. Dun, 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 intro music.
I swear one of these days, instead of using the sound that I put in there,
you're going to clip all my noises.
Yes. I'm just going to combine them, and that's going to be our fucking intros.
Please don't. Nobody wants to hear me sing. There's a reason I have a day job and no night job as a singer.
As a singer. You know, making up those karaoke bars. I fucking love karaoke.
I'm such a bad singer. I don't even karaoke. Like, when I sing to the music, Jax will be like, will you stop singing, Mom? It does not sound good.
Oh, no.
Or, like, if I sing to, like, the Toy Story song or, like, the Lion King movies, he's like, that doesn't sound good.
Rude.
I'm getting ripped by my 7-year-old. Like, I'm aware I can't sing.
See?
That's why I keep it to the car and my home, but now my home and my car ain't even a safe space.
I love singing. And like you yesterday, you're like, are you singing over there? We're in the office yesterday. And I'm just like in my own little world listening to my music.
She's like, do. I can like hear her like a few desks away. And it's like dead quiet. And I'm like, I message her. I'm like, are you singing?
I'm like, don't mind me just mumbling to myself.
I'm like, no, you're not mumbling, girl. You singing over there.
And Iceman kills.
And I've worked with you for years, and I don't know that I've ever heard you like sing to yourself. That's why I was like, "Are you singing?" I was like, "What?" I had never heard you sing until yesterday. That's why I was like,
and that was just me like humming along.
I was like, "You got a cute voice, girl."
When Danielle used to work with us, like we were listening to something, and you know I was kind of singing along to it. She's like, you could fucking sing. And I'm like, I think I can a little bit. I'm not fucking professional, you know, but I do like singing. I love karaoke and all that shit.
I'm not tone deaf. Like, let me get that straight. Like, I can hear when I am not hitting the right tone. Like, I'm not tone deaf. Like, I can hear when somebody's playing the piano and, like, they miss the fucking wrong key, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I can hear all that. But, like, when I try to get it out of me, none of it comes out the way it's supposed to.
The car is my area. It's all about like
the core and the breathing. And I'm like,
that's why I sing in the car. That's how I learn to like scream and all my growling. So I'm like, no one's around me.
Nobody can hear me. That's my safe space.
Yes, it is.
Until my child's in the car, then it's no longer safe.
Yeah, all I'm listening to is fucking Wreck-It Ralph.
I love Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah, it's only the one song of When Can I See You Again? From the first movie. It's on fucking repeat. And he knows all the words.
That's adorable.
I'm like, okay, you can't really speak clearly. Like, we're working on your enunciation, but you can fucking sing this.
You got this.
Do you, boo?
That's cute. Wreck-It Ralph's such a great movie, though, too.
I'm like, I just want to listen to my Stray Kids.
Come on, get out of this. At least it's not Baby Shark.
Oh, no, that's in the rotation, too.
Ew.
A lot, and he knows all the moves, and he will run around.
When that was happening, I banned that from the house. I was like, it's not happening here.
He's too cute for me to ban.
I was like, it's not happening
head,
here.
Shoulders, knees, and toes. The bop. And the Snoop Dogg version.
Yeah.
Snoop's Place or something. Oh, God.
Snoop made that music for us.
I know. For the kids now.
No, he made it for the adults.
For the moms and the parents. I should say the parents.
We appreciate you, Snoop.
To be able to listen to that on repeat. That's fucking gangsta. Anywho.
Snoop, don't come for me. Don't come for me.
I mean.
I really appreciate it.
Come for us, but bring your goods.
Come for me. Kidnap my ass. Put me in a hot box. Just leave me there.
Just give us a break.
Call into my work and be like, I kidnapped Kara, the Snoop. And
they'd be like,
no.
No, they'd be like, have fun.
My manager would be like, Snoop?
Yeah.
Let me know when you're going to bring her back.
Give me a timeline. I got her out.
I got her out. We got her in the box. All right, we got way off topic there.
Yeah, you know.
All right.
This is what you're here for.
This is what you get.
This
so
is us on a daily.
Yeah, I know. We just
fucking
we get back to it, you know. It's like we may jump 7 different spots in our conversation, but we come back to where we were going.
This is very true, and a lot of the times I do clip. I do clip it, but no, this shit stayed in. That was good.
Man, I wish I wouldn't have snooped. Snoop D-O-double-G. Okay. Before I take that any further than it needs to go, we watched Saltburn.
Yes.
We realized this is not a horror movie, but more
It's
on like
psychological.
It's like drama, a bit of a thriller. It was very like mind fucky.
Yeah.
More than anything.
Yeah. It was so good though.
And you know, TikTok got me with like the shocking scenes and the reactions. And like,
but can I say though, if you are a dark romance reader, they're not that shocking. That's tame.
Yeah, so and like you were there for my reactions as I was watching the movie, and the first time I watched it, I was a bit like, the fuck. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? Like, you know, when we're doing the in the tub. I was fine until we made the slurping noises, and that's when I was like, ugh.
Like that, yeah.
And also, like, if the whole point of that scene was that, like, Oliver wanted to, like, have a bit of Felix inside of him. Okay, it's dirty bathwater. We didn't need to have him ejaculate in the bathwater.
Yeah, no.
So, okay, shock value, whatever.
Yeah.
It just really shows the level of his obsession.
Yeah.
The other shocking scene, because these do have spoilers.
Yeah. And if you're on TikTok, you
probably know. Yeah, so then the blood scene, the vampire scene. I like, in my head, if I were to play that scene in my head, I'm like, that's not too fucked up.
No.
Right? I'm like, that's dope. Dude's just like, fuck it, I don't care. When they showed the scene, though, I was like, oh, that looks better in my head than it does on screen. Like, if I were to read that in a smut book, that's not what my mind would have depicted, I don't think.
Yes?
Like,
well, okay, here's my question.
I think it was the actual color of the blood. That, like, that's what sent me. Because the whole action of it wasn't, like, that's not what my, like, was coming from. It was when I could, like, see it, and I was like, sir.
Yeah. Well, I guess it depends on, like, what day she's on. And what?
Yeah, like, I mean, it looked real heavy, bro. Like, and that's when I was like,
But also, I guess my thing is, too, especially, and it could be a little personal, but if you've ever done anything on your period, it's not that
terrible.
It's not that terrible. The only thing that kind of like that did a little gross me out, I don't want period blood in my mouth.
That's where I was like, when he like put it, he like did that thing and then kissed her, and that's when I was like,
yeah.
Before that, I was like, okay.
But also, like, if I was in the moment and
I think I would roll with it.
Yeah.
I think I would roll with it.
I don't think I'd let him put his whole fingers with my blood in my mouth. Like, that would be
the
like,
whole, like,
but like just the touching it, like, and then
I'd be like, okay.
I'm fucking in it.
Yeah,
you know?
like, this is my body, it's my blood anyways. I don't really
I just
give
don't
a
want
shit.
it in my mouth.
Like, that's...
Thanks.
And so, like, again, like, they were shocking scenes, but, like, they weren't as, like, TikTok was making them out to
I'm sorry. The graveyard scene, got me, because I was like, what the fuck are you doing? But at the same time, my only thought was, that is now all up on your dick. Like, the dirt
is in your dick hole.
That's all I can think about.
Okay, so I was like, first of all, I was like, oh, maybe it's like fucking a pie from like American Pie.
No,
right?
It's like grainy.
And then I was like,
that's like,
then I had the thought of that's broken down dirt.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, it may feel good, but he's getting dirt in his pee hole.
That's my thing. And I'm like, you getting a UTI, bro.
And I don't think it was as disturbing as people made it out to be, because it was a really emotional scene.
And all of that was improvised.
Yeah, I know. I love that.
Fucking yes, Barry.
To hear Barry say that, like, well, because I think he improvised the, like, fucking scene of the dirt. Because they...
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, that was all improv. Like, he was supposed to just be, like...
sobbing,
and, like, sad,
laying on the ground.
No,
but when he, like, pulls up to take off his pants, that was improvised. And I was like...
I'm like, but you're thinking about it and how obsessed he was.
Have taken that character to heart. And that is what an actor should do.
Yes. And I'm like, that's with how things have played out up to that part.
That level of obsession and love. Again, it was like really emotional to see him so upset, but then he like takes this creepy ass turn to it. It just like, again, a lot of people were like, it was unnecessary, but like it kind of wasn't.
No,
and I would still argue like that these are not shock value scenes, that they actually played into why Oliver is the way he is.
Yeah.
So, and I watched it again. I told you that. And I think watching it the second time, I picked up on a lot more than I did the first time. Just because I wasn't so like, oh, these shocking scenes are coming, right? And I was able to absorb the story more. And also, like, as you know, the whole movie, you're like, what is going on? And the last 25 minutes, they're like, bam, 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 bam. They, like, line it up for you. And then you're like, oh. And then they end it, and you're like, my brain is still trying to pick up the pieces of what you just took me through. Yeah. So I took, like, a week. Watched it again. I loved it more the second time than I did the first time.
Yeah, you just pick up a lot more because, you know, the first time you watch it, it's mostly, especially if you're on TikTok, like you're watching it because of TikTok. You
and the reactions.
Scenes, but then you watch it again for the actual value of the
movie and what it is. And you're like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, 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 wow.
It was good. It was a great movie.
Yes. So plot was distraught by his classmates Oliver's unfortunate living situation. Felix, a rich student, invites him over to his estate, Saltburn. Soon a series of horrifying events engulf Felix's family. I did also want to note that the true meaning of Saltburn lies within its exploration of desire in some of its rawest forms and how destructive that can be. Yeah. Especially as it starts to entangle itself with pure obsession. Yeah. That, when I looked up the definition of Saltburn and I found that, I was like, that explains the entire movie. And the definition of Saltburn itself.
That makes complete sense.
Yeah, so I was like really interested that it tied right in, right? They picked a perfect title and a perfect, name for this estate. Yeah. It's on Prime. It came out in like November of 2023. Yeah. Yeah, like end of November maybe. But it's still on Prime. It's free. I would watch it. I wouldn't be surprised if this is up for awards.
I think it is.
Is it?
I think it is.
So I had a lot of questions. But again, it's kind of one of those movies where you're going to have questions whole time until... Because the way they set it up is so that you have questions. Yeah. And they like domino effect your questions. You're like, okay, I have another one. And you like put your domino up. You're like, I have another question. What the fuck's going on here? And then at the last 25 minutes, they literally answer every question. Yeah.
To an extent.
To an extent. I mean, there are a few things left for you to interpret, which we were kind of discussing before we clicked play, which I asked was Oliver obsessed with Felix? Or was he truly obsessed with Saltburn?
And I think it's both. I think the obsession started with Felix and then really escalated when he saw like
what Saltburn is. Yeah. See, and I think like after rewatching it, I think Oliver knew that Felix was already associated to Saltburn.
Probably.
And was obsessed with Saltburn from the get-go, but was trying to get to that obsession through Felix.
But I feel like he did have like a legitimate like obsession with Felix.
He
did. He had a goal.
He had an end goal. I mean, homie played the long game. Yeah. And we don't see that until the last 25 minutes of the movie, right? Yeah. Like, you see all these like unfortunate things happen. Like, Felix's bike's got a flat tire, and Oliver's like, oh, well, you
Sure.
can borrow mine. And, you know, Felix invites Oliver out to the pub with his friends, and he has to buy the round of Jaeger, and he doesn't have money, so Felix helps him out. Like, oh, like you don't have a great family life. You're an only child and from a family of addicts, and your dad just died. Like, why don't you come to Saltburn with us? And like, then we learn
like none of that was true.
And at the end, when they're like revealing that, you're kind of like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You said what? Mm-hmm. And so Felix finds out Oliver's lied.
Oh, yeah.
While they're at Saltburn, and they're having like a grand old time.
They're
right?
gonna have like a birthday party for Oliver.
Even though Oliver has no friends. I thought that was super weird.
But I think that was also on the mom.
Yeah.
Of like, she's the type of person just to throw a party.
For sure.
Because she was on. It reveals at the end too, like he was starting to like flirt with the mom.
Yes.
And be like, oh, hey. And so she put it in.
And the mom was Rosamund Pike.
Yes.
So that was great. And then Jacob Elordi, obviously, was Felix.
And then Barry Keoghan
was Oliver.
Yeah. I think
everybody
I'm saying
did
his last name right.
a great job. The entire cast was phenomenal. Whoever played Farley.
Fucking great, man.
I mean, I knew you were pissed because I had already watched the movie like the first time. You could tell right away you were not a fan of Oliver. Like, and it stays clear throughout the whole movie. But when I watched it with my fiance the second time, he was like, this dude ain't having it. No, from the get-go. Like, from the first time they showed Farley, he's like, no, he's not having this shit.
He comes in for like the tutoring or whatever with Oliver, and then Oliver's talking.
Being a know-it-all.
And he's just like, no. And then it just kind of progresses. So, like, Farley already knew.
Yes.
Got the ick
and
feeling.
Farley and Felix are cousins. So, like, obviously Farley ends up at Saltburn. The family's at Saltburn. And, as things start to, like, go amiss on this little summer vacation, like, they're having a blast. Like, they're swimming in the pond. They're all reading Harry Potter together. They're like, do you think Ron, Hermione, and Harry all had threesomes together?
Yes.
I was like, yes, I do.
Yes,
Thank you
do.
for somebody to fucking say it.
Yep.
Thank you. They did a great job. Like, the Saltburn estate itself looked gorgeous.
Yeah.
I mean, we see Oliver, like, reading about the estate and then, like, asking questions to Felix's dad. Like, he has no fucking idea, but he's, like, literally just trying to get them to like him.
Yeah.
It is, like, the truest form of obsession.
Oh, yeah.
And it's scary.
Honestly, like, when he got called out because Felix was like, no, your parents only live so far away. Like,
and they're sober and they're alive, and you're not an only child.
And how Felix plays it off like, no, we're gonna stay.
We're gonna stay. You're gonna have some cake with your mom.
I was like, oh.
Like, the fact that he didn't rat Oliver out to his parents or to his own parents was huge for me. So
he just starts like ignoring and be like, you're a fucker.
Yeah, you're a fucking liar, dude. Like, you literally wormed your way into my life and home based off of lies.
Like, you're gonna fucking leave.
And he's like, after your party tonight, peace out. You're done. Like, I want nothing to do with you.
And then
that's when shit hits the fan. And since there are spoilers, we will let you know that Oliver kills Felix.
Yeah, we don't find that out to the end. Like, we're like, what the fuck just happened? Did he just OD?
Yeah, you see like a confrontation in the maze, and it kind of looks like he OD'd, but Oliver definitely put a bunch of cocaine into that bottle of champagne, then blamed it on Farley, so Farley got kicked out of the house.
Yes. He fucks Farley.
Yeah, fucks Farley.
Fucks the other cousin.
Dude, and it was like don't talk. Fuck. It was super weird. I was like...
No, it was...
And the way Farley was like... He's like, are you going to behave? And Farley's like, no. With like a question at the end. I'm like...
Because I think in that part, like, Oliver's just trying to be dominant. And be like, no, you don't get to do anything. It's on me.
And he's like, are you going to behave? And Farley's like...
Fucking...
No. Like, why would I listen to you? You're just some loser.
Yeah.
Like, in his mind, right? He's like, you're just some dumb loser. And to that point, when... they did the karaoke night at the Henry's party, when Farley sets up that song for Oliver to sing, my heart broke. I was like, that is fucked up. And the way he was like, hey, Farley, why don't you come sing? It's partially your song, too, because their family is bailing out Farley's family. And so I was like, well, that's like a good like little like snub back, but it's just like it really shows how much of a bitch Farley was. Yeah. But he also knew. It was like he had some sort of sixth sense that he knew Oliver was off. Like there was something is wrong with you, dude.
Yep. And the fact that like after Felix dies and they're all at the table and Oliver's just trying to play it along because like both the parents are like, we're not going to talk about it. Yeah,
it's clear that anything negative happens that they just choose to ignore it. Yeah. They go along with what their little Delulu world is.
Yes, but I love how like Farley's like, how are we like,
eating lunch? I can't eat lunch, and everybody's like crying at the table, just, like, and Venetia's pouring the wine, and it's just overflowing her wine glass. Like everybody's really fucked up about it, but and this shows the stigma that some families do have that we don't talk about the negative things that happen even within our own family. Yeah. And I think that that's a stigma that should have been broken quite a while ago. Yeah. And I know that a lot of people are still working on it. Nobody's perfect. Yeah. Like, don't pretend to be. Yeah. Like, especially when everybody at this table saw what happened. Like, let's just be open and honest and have a conversation about this fucked me up. Yep. My son died. Yeah. Like, my brother died. My cousin died.
Oh my God, them and the butler or whatever trying to close the curtains.
Dude, okay.
Broke my heart.
The butler can't get them closed. And I was like... But also, the butler seemed to not love Oliver from the get either. Yeah. He's like, why'd you show up early? We sent a car for you. And he's like pissed.
No,
and
he's like, we could have sent a car for you. Why didn't you say anything?
And the whole eggs thing, the breakfast in the morning, like the whole time it was just like the butler knew. And when Oliver goes running outside and everybody's looking for Felix, him and the butler just have this like weird eye contact. Yes. And it like nothing is said and you're like, So that's one of the questions I don't think they answered at the end of the movie was what happened to the butler. Because we don't know.
Oh, yeah, huh?
Yeah, you don't know.
I didn't think about that.
We're like, did he stay with Saltburn? And
Probably not.
And then we would assume by that last video of the epic dance video he's not there, right? Yeah. But like, what happened to him? That was a little bit of a loose thread for me that I was like, well, that's one of the dominoes that you didn't answer for me. But like the whole obsession with Felix versus Saltburn, I think that is to the viewer's discretion, right? Yeah. But we both see it in a similar way that like he had the obsession with Felix and then it like snowballed into the family and Saltburn. He was actually
starting to legitimately fall in love with Felix. Like I at the end of the movie when they're revealing everything, I think it's like, no, he just wanted to get to Saltburn. He wanted to take it over.
Because he says, I loved Felix. I was never in love with him, but I hated him more than I loved him. Yeah. It's like one of the last things we hear from Barry's character.
Exactly. And so like, it makes me wonder, it's like he started to fall in love with him and then hated that he was
falling in love with him and refused to do so. But the obsession it snowballed hard. I mean... So,
and oh my God, when Venetia got herself, the fact that Oliver like put the razors there, like her whole monologue in the tub was amazing.
It was amazing. Dude, it was moving.
So moving.
And I know she's fucked up, right? And she's sad, but like she is seeing through Oliver's bullshit at that moment. Yeah. And part of me was like, if they didn't have that conversation in the bathtub, would he have killed her off?
He probably would have found a way or like led her to do it.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of like how it ended up anyway, because they had that conversation and then he just left the razors. So it was on her. And because of how fucked up she was.
And he put her already in this like fucked up mindset too. So it was
I think even if he didn't do it then, he would have found a way
eventually.
Yeah, because of how broken she was.
And we never really find out like how the dad died. Yeah, but we never find out if Oliver had a hand in that.
I don't think Oliver did.
I tend to believe that he did, and we just weren't told about it.
Because it's not like he already had medical issues, and so he was just waiting for it.
For sure, but I think he had a hand in like making it happen sooner, so he could get to Saltburn.
But
because
how?
even when he runs into Elizabeth in the coffee shop, like years later, right? And she's like, he died. He's still playing the long game. Oliver at that point is still playing the long game to kill
True.
Elizabeth. So I'm like, did he do the dad too? And we just didn't really get to see because he was ill? Or did he just wait? It could be either, right? Like, he knew it was coming. He was just waiting to make his move on Lisbeth. Or did he do something to speed up the dad dying? So again, that's another like domino they didn't answer, but
no, I just have this like gut feeling that he was just waiting because he already knew it was going to happen, but that's why he put everything else in place to make it harder
on his life, right? Like, it's hard when you lost both of your children.
Yeah, because like he knew that he couldn't really push the dad to do like how.
Yeah, the dad was standing his ground because he's like, how much to get you out of here to leave Saltburn? So I think he knew he couldn't manipulate the dad. So I think you're right. I think he maybe just waited for him.
But that's why he was planting those the feelers and whatnot for Lisbeth to be like, oh, so when he does pass out, I'm gonna pop up and I'm just gonna randomly be here because I know this is where you come.
I've been stalking your ass.
Exactly.
Which again, the level of obsession and the long game
and
here.
Then, like what? Doesn't he like poison her? Like he makes her sick?
Elizabeth?
Yeah, because she ends up sick and on the bed. So doesn't he have
I don't think we really see how she ends up getting sick, but we see that she's in like the room on the ventilator and he's like talking to her and blowing his cigarette smoke in her face, and I'm like, you're a dick.
I could have sworn he had a hand in making it where she was like getting extremely
I believe
sick.
so, because it seems like they kind of like hooked up, and then she was like come back to Saltburn, and he obviously had to do something to like send her down that spiral.
And I'm sorry, the whole fucking taking.
I was just gonna say, dude, that
lawnmower rip.
That scene probably fucked me up more than any other scene in the movie. Like, people are talking about like the vampires. No, dude, when he just ripped the tube out of her throat with such aggression, like. I mean, like, we're kneeling over her on the hospital bed, and he's just like, whoop, and throws it across the room. And then he gets his pillow, and he's like, night. I was like, God damn. People were uncomfortable about the grave fucking, but, like, that hurt me.
But I was like, oh, my God.
I was like, nobody take me out like that.
No, please. Just pull the plug and let me, like, go.
I thought it was a really good movie. I really didn't understand until the end of the movie, but I think that that's part of the fun. Yeah. Of the movie. I do too.
And the fact that like he's saying all of this, like whoever he was talking to or in the interview, it's like obviously he's not telling them the full story because he would be in jail.
But he is telling his version of the story. Yeah. And it's interesting because he is like, I loved him. I wasn't in love with him, but I hated him more than I loved him. And you're like, so you super fucking obsessed. Yes. Like on all levels between like love, hate, like wanting to take your place. And I mean, he did.
Oh, yeah.
He did.
And then the whole dancing at the end is like his celebratory. And like,
what a vibe.
What a fucking vibe. And that music.
It was perfect. Yes. It was perfect. And that song has been like stuck in my head, you know? So it's, it's great. Men on the dance floor.
I just know that, he was talking to the director, I believe in one of the interviews I watched, where he's like, okay, are we actually dancing? Like, wouldn't he just kind of strut around? Like, what's going on? He's like, no, dancing. You're going to fucking
dance.
Swing your dick around in this castle on this estate.
And he does. And he shakes his little booty.
Oh, my God.
And you're like, oh, I want to bounce a quarter off that little thing. I also thought it was interesting how they made Oliver look at the beginning of the movie and the like transformation he had.
But that's part of the whole
obsession wanting to be Felix and wanting to be a part of this family.
He has to look like he is this shy
nerdy kid.
Like, I don't have friends. I don't
have nobody.
And then it makes it feel like Felix is helping him out and
dressing him, doing his hair a little better,
transforming him.
Yeah, by the end of the movie, I was like, God damn.
Yeah, dude.
At the beginning of the movie, I was like, you little nerdy kid. I don't really give a shit about you. Jacob Elordi, though. Wow.
He had a fight for his eyebrow piercing in that movie.
I heard about that, and I was like, It looks nice.
Yeah.
Leave it in, sir.
Because he's supposed to be like a little rebel. Like, oh, don't fucking...
Yeah, so I'm like, why wouldn't he have the piercing?
Right?
It makes sense to me.
Yeah.
But I really loved it. I thought all of the cast was great. Even with, like, the icky scenes.
It was so good.
I gave it a 4.2 out of 5.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because not a lot of movies do that to me where I'm questioning the whole time. And, again, it was the way they just, like... had you like stacking these questions internally, and then the way they just like laid it out at the end, you're kind of like I almost like fritzed out. I was like, I'm not, too much is happening. I'm not quite sure I caught all of it. If you haven't watched it a second time, maybe go watch it a second time.
See if you can't pick up anything. Oh, one thing I was about to say, yes, because like again, we've talked about this before. Like we will watch movies again and again depending. On the movie and looking at the background and seeing what's going on. And one of the things...
And I didn't catch this, even watching it the second time. Yeah. So I'm curious.
No, I caught it the second time, and then it ended up on my TikTok. And I was like, oh, yep, saw that. So now I understand.
Saw that.
It's when they were... The first time they were sitting around eating, I think it was breakfast, and talking about the story about how... the ghost. Yeah, the ghost, like the woman. It's like, oh, I saw someone walk across the window, and then the next day they died. Well, when they're saying that, you know, Felix is sitting there in his pink shirt or whatever, and back with the window, and you see an image
pink
like
shirt.
a person with a pink shirt walk by. So it was a foreshadowing
of him killing Felix. And I didn't catch that, and I'm like, I gotta go like watch that scene, you know. So because
the second time I watched it, I was like, wait a second, you know, because you're looking in the background and doing everything, and I was like, is that him? I mean, it's like the same pink shirt.
It would be a perfect foreshadowing moment. So I would believe that they did that on purpose. I don't think that this movie had. I don't think they did anything without intention in this movie. Again, like that's why, like. You know, I really argued with Chris because he was like, I don't think movies need to have shock value scenes like that. And I was like, I don't think it's a shock value scene. I think it truly plays into how obsessed he was. Mm-hmm. And, you know, Chris was like, well, they could have shown us that without him fucking the grave and without him drinking the bathwater. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, but how? It shows an extra level of, like, you could be like, oh, he's obsessed, he's stalking them, but we've seen that. Yeah. What are you going to show us?
And then how... Because it really plays a part because it was just Oliver in those settings. It was just him. So, like, how are you supposed to portray that?
Otherwise, without him just, like, creeping through the windows or, like, the doors. No, I mean, like, it's not you. We're watching a movie. So, like, I'm going to need more than you just standing there being a creeper. And I think that that's, again, what these scenes did. And I think it also showed that, like, his morals are skewed. And, like, obviously for killing people...
you know.
But like, they lead you to see that his morals are askew before we even get there, right?
Yeah.
So I still will make the argument that those scenes were necessary and they were not shock value, but to show the true fucking level of obsession that he had.
Agreed.
But yeah, that was a huge argument we had, and he was not letting it go. He was not letting it go. Yeah. I was like, we're going to have to agree to disagree because I feel completely opposite and as intensely as you feel about it.
If you think about it, though, there's a lot of people that if they do have that level of obsession, that's how they're going to react. You're just not saying it because you're not there.
Because you're a normal person. We don't think that way. We don't think that way.
That too. But it's like, it also, I feel, especially with like the bathroom, the tub scene, it's like, okay, I see that as the equivalent of sneaking into a house, taking someone's panties, taking someone's, like, something, you know, taking pictures of you while you sleep.
Yes,
you know, it's that.
It's creepy.
I need a part of you.
I want part of you. And, like, they took it a level further with Oliver being like, I need part of you in me. Like, I literally want to have you inside of me. Like, not in, like, a sexual way, but like physical form. Yeah. Like, what the hell? Mm-hmm. That's crazy talk to me. Like, it's crazy talk. Yeah. But I thought it was a great movie. I thought Jacob Elordi did a great job, especially after they canceled Euphoria. I was like...
Wait, is it fully canceled?
Yeah, it has been. It's not coming back. They're done. I mean, like, 2 of the cast members died, dude. like the main cast. They can't bring him back. Yeah. You didn't know this?
No! Fucking what?
I'm so sorry to break it to you.
Who died?
So this was my Jacob Elordi fix. Let me pull it up.
Pause. That's what I was thinking.
Lies. Lies. I thought it was canceled due to like Sydney Sweeney and like Fezco's character. Like I thought, like with them not coming back, they just weren't going to do the show. Google is saying HBO has not confirmed the cancellation, but this was my fix to get, Jacob in.
Yeah, I totally forgot that I'm going to say his name wrong, so I'm just going to say character named Fez. I
can't say his real name.
Angus?
Yeah, it's Angus Cloud.
Angus Cloud. I remember that he passed. But yeah, there was two of the main girls that weren't
coming back.
So that makes sense.
Yeah, I was under the impression of like we weren't going to have it, or if we were, it wasn't going to be what it was, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, give me my Jacob Elordi fix.
Mm-hmm. And I haven't watched Elvis yet.
Neither have I.
Was it Elvis? No, not Elvis. It was the Presley.
Isn't that the Elvis movie?
No, because there's an Elvis movie, and then there was one with Jacob Elordi playing Elvis, but I think it was based around Priscilla.
Okay, I was going to say, but it was based off of his girlfriend, wife, so.
Girlfriend, wife, back
then. We're not sure.
No. Okay, so.
But yeah, I thought he did a great job. I think everybody... after like reading the general consensus online, I think everybody really enjoyed this movie.
I love seeing the reactions when they're watching it with their parents.
My mom would kill me if I put that movie on. She
so
would
funny.
Literally walk out of the room and be like, I hate you.
My mom would have commentary for sure. She'd be like, no, I don't think so.
I don't think that's happening.
Like I see, for me though, like I could watch some shit I've watched some shit with my mom, and she'll just kind of look at me and look, and she'll sit there and watch it, and I'll be like,
I don't know either, Mom. We're in the same spot here.
I remember one day we were watching. I don't remember what we were watching, but there was of course like a sex scene or something. And I'm just sitting there like as a teenager, just being like, oh, this is kind of awkward. And, Mom's just doing her thing, either cross stitching or whatever. And then we'd make some fucking comment and just like bust out laughing. It was never awkward or anything, because like I'll say, like, my mom's the one that got me into smut books. That's all she would fucking read, and I was like, I want something to read. She's like, you're old enough. I was like,
try
in
this.
8th grade.
You're like, okay.
And she hands me one of her like medieval romance novels, and I was like, this is what you're fucking reading, Mom. I'm like, I don't need to know this, but I was like, no, I'm fucking hooked. So I read all of her books.
I'm fucking hooked. I love them all. I've been telling my mom that we have leveled up on Fabio. Our generation has leveled up on Fabio, and they all have wings. And my mom was like,
hell yeah.
The look on her face, though, was like, what?
Did I tell you? I got my mom to read The Ritual in Carnage.
Yes.
She hasn't gave me any reactions.
We need the reactions, please, because
I need to call her, and I need to have her.
We feel very strongly about those books.
I know. I was like, Mom, what do you think? Because I was telling her, and I was like, you want some stories, Mom? Because like my mom and I share Kindle Unlimited, or I should say, I use my mother's Kindle Unlimited because I ain't paying for that, and we read basically the same thing. Mine's just a little bit more on the dark romance side, so I think I'm getting my mom into
like, check these out.
I'm like, Mother, read these.
And they're good, so I bet you're gonna love them. I want to know what she has to say.
I know. I need to call her.
We gotta find out.
Yes.
What would you give like Saltburn?
I would definitely say it was like agree. It was like a 4.2 ish.
The cast was good.
Yeah.
The acting was good.
I like the
story was good. It was well written.
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of like
major questions, because I think they all played out in the end.
I mean, like, they really all played out, and like the major questions I do have, it's after like watching the movie a few times, and then they're like, well, it's again like, did Oliver have anything to do with the dad?
Yeah.
Yes or no? But again, I don't think that makes a difference whether he waited for his
questions we have,
they don't really make a difference for how we feel about the movie. So,
yeah.
But again, I love just the way they set that movie up to just stack our minds with questions, and then for them to be like, here you go, here's all the answers, and we were just all kind of like,
okay.
what did we watch, man? It was great. I would recommend watching it. Maybe not with your family.
Yeah, don't do that.
But
Don't do that.
don't do that. But it was great. I would recommend a watch. And yeah. We'll be back next week. We're going to do Chantel's Dark Kingdom series. And then I'm going to take this bitch to go see Night Swim.
Yay.
And so then we'll review Night Swim because I really want to see it.
Yeah, same.
And then I think we'll be back with maybe
more shit.
Maybe Crescent City books.
Yeah, because when 3 comes out, I'm fucking devouring it.
So if you guys have any recommendations or books or movies that you want us to review,
hit us up.
We're happy to go outside of our wheelhouse a bit, or read something that we haven't, or reread something and talk about it. So yeah,
tag us on videos and TikTok.
Yeah,
that's what I've been.
We
going
save
through.
them. We save them, and then we're like, okay, we need to read all of these books listed in the TikTok. I actually need to take all of my saved videos on TikTok and write down the name of the books in a notebook and the name of the authors.
Yes.
But even Nick posted on Facebook a bunch of his favorite authors and books, and I was pulling those. I was grabbing those off Kindle as fast as I could because I was oh well, if he's saying it's good,
yeah,
I'm gonna think it's good based off of our similar shared interests.
Yep.
But yeah, so send us the TikToks, tag us,
send us the recs.
Yeah, you can email us and you can absorb this podcast with your ear holes.
With your ear holes.
Anywhere you can find podcasts.
And YouTube.
And YouTube, because you can find podcasts there.
Hey! Yeah. Hey!
But we'll be back next Thursday. Have a great weekend. And stay warm, bitches.
Yeah. It's going to get fucking warm. It's going to get up to the 55s.
I know. I'm going to be wearing shorts.
It's fucking weird.
After negative 40, it goes to 40 positive degrees. And I'm over here give me shorts.
My head's ow, migraine.
Dude, for real. For real. The weather change, I'm movies and books, that's all I can do.
Pretty much. Okay, bye.
All right, bye.
Thank you for listening. If you'd like to see more from us, you can find us on Instagram at The Midnight Babes Podcast and on TikTok at The Midnight Babes. Stay spooky, friends.